Very exciting for every Iron Maiden fan, of course, 50 years.
I've been listening my whole life. My mom was going to the shows when she was pregnant with me, so since before I was born I've been listening to Maiden, so a lifelong fan. Everything they do is just top quality.
Quintessentially British heavy metal. Iron Maiden don't go after headlines. The headlines go after them.
So excited. I mean, they're a band that have had such a huge influence across the globe. You know, there was Black Sabbath, then there was Judas Priest, and then there was Iron Maiden. I think Maiden really brought metal to every continent.
The values that they stand for are kind of as important as the music in a way. They just have this, there's a sort of honesty and truthfulness and a kind of rebellious punk rock nature in their metal that is very honourable. You know, if you meet someone that likes Maiden, you don't need to sort of say anymore, you just know you're on a level.
I don't know what to do with myself really, I'm so excited, but first premiere as well, and what a show to see, yeah.
Greetings, Metal Brethren. You are joining me in London, in Leicester Square, at the world premiere of Iron Maiden's career-spanning documentary film, Burning Ambition. I have got my ticket. The fans are gathering. The stars of the show are arriving. So, here's my report from the world premiere. What's the energy like here?
Electric. Absolutely brilliant.
It feels very much like a fan thing, you know, they've made a film by the fans, about the fans. We've got so many here, the energy's been great all night.
Iron Maiden have been part of my life for the last 40 years. The music, the songs, and the perspective they put on my life, and all the friends they've introduced me around the world. It's just been magnificent, and to celebrate this, I've been part of this for 40 years, out of the 50 so far. So just so happy to be here.
Consistency, creativity, awesomeness. It's very rare in my world with that type of integrity and commitment. You know, never change and just do it better and better year after year. It's incredible.
Eddie!
How are you feeling being here at the world premiere of Burning Ambition? It's look back on the incredible journey of Iron Maiden. Yeah, well, it's something that's only going to happen once in your life, isn't it? It's going to be one of these things. So,
I am equally as scared as Eddie, as I am in love with him.
But I think people are going to love it. And it's out on May the 7th. What do you think fans are going to make of it?
It's difficult to represent 50 years of incredible history, incredible stories within just sort of 2 hours. So from the very beginning to my last show with the band, and I did a great job. So hats off to Universal and Malcolm Venville for a great job. If we didn't have the dynamic of the fans behind this band, I don't think we'd be anywhere near where we are and where we have been for the last 50 years. So, you know, it's hats off to the fans, all of them.
Yeah, Iron Maiden is a band that's endured 4 or 5 decades of brilliant music, always been outsiders music, never compromised on the sound or the aesthetic, never sort of straying from the manifesto, always being the sound of the outsider. And then look at that, it's paid off. People used to criticise us for being like a Queen AC/DC type band, but there was a Queen AC/DC Iron Maiden thing. If you listen to songs like Black Shuck, for example, that is very much an AC/DC riff with an Iron Maiden lyric. You heard it here first. Please don't sue me.
Congratulations for tonight.
Okay.
How excited are you about the premiere?
I've seen it, so I think it's kind of cool, but I'm just very interested to see other people's reactions to it. We exist because of the fans. I mean, we do. And we're playing to 2.5 million of them in the next 5 months. And so, just despite the success of probably the success of this film, I still have to go on stage every night and justify why I have the right to stand there, because I don't have the right to stand on that stage. I have to earn it every night.
Well said. One very quick final question. What was the actual process like for you of making the film? Because you had to go down memory lane so far. Did you kind of remember things that you'd kind of almost forgotten?
Honestly, it was hours and hours of interviews with Malcolm. And at the end of it all, I was just like, do whatever you like, mate, you know. And he's done a great job. He's created a narrative over 50 years in an hour and 40 minutes. Frankly, the thing could have been, you know, a 15-hour Netflix series, but it wouldn't have had the punch that we've got here with this. So I think he's done a great job.
So that's it for the pre-premiere festivities, and right now it's time to go and actually watch the screening. So I'll see you in about an hour and a half and give you my impression of Iron Maiden's Burning Ambition documentary film celebrating 50 years of Iron Maiden. Up the irons.
The film is first and foremost for the fans. It started with the fans. It's all about fans from all walks of life, from high and low, the Japanese Prime Minister, street vendor in Sao Paulo. You've got an Iron Maiden story, and that's how he built the narrative, by interviewing fans. You know, so all I was thinking about was the fans.
And Bruce, obviously, I mean, this is a legacy of 50 years here. We see so much archive footage in this film. What was it like for you personally, rewatching some of those moments?
Well, yeah, there's some terrific bits of slightly embarrassing things, which I'm very proud of, because they were all real and 100% meant that, like, mate, you can't play heavy metal with synthesizers at the time. But I did think that might come back to bite me later on, as we've had synthesizers on every single Iron Maiden album for the last 25 years.
It's hard to put in just one film, 50 years of career, so many testimonies from the fans, from the band, from everybody. But the film is amazing, it's an experience.
Love it. I can watch this forever. Of course, it's wonderful to hear how the music has affected all these fans around the world.
I'm so proud to be part of the legend.
I loved it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. A love letter to an amazing band and the following they've created, and the loyalty and the spirit of rock and roll. Just amazing.
The music and the way the whole band was portrayed, I just thought they did such a great job. The fans, all the contributors and everything, and so lovely to see so much sort of vintage footage of the band as well.
I think Bruce said it years ago, Maiden is a freight train, and once it starts, it does not stop. That's the road, the tour, or the gig. It doesn't stop.
This is an amazing movie. I've had a sneak preview of it. It's really, really inspiring. And if you're a fan of Iron Maiden, rock, metal, guitars, or just the human experience, because one thing AI can't do is this. That's the reality. And I think that's why they'll endure for another 50 years.
I think every single fan in the world, and not just the fan, everybody who wants to know one of the history of one of the best bands in the world, they should come to the cinema and see this movie, because it's amazing.
As Bruce said during the premiere, they didn't pull back any punches. They showed us the highs, the lows, just everything. And it was funny, it was emotional. Yeah, just everything about it was amazing.
What an incredible 100 minutes Iron Maiden Burning Ambition world premiere. First of all, for me, there was a lot of nostalgia, because there was a lot of vintage footage that took me back actually to my origins in metal, because Iron Maiden were one of the first bands that I got into in my teens. The highs and lows of 50 years of the band really took you on an incredible journey. I guess I would say blood, sweat and tears, as well as a lot of joy was in the film. And it was called Burning Ambition, but I think on reflection, I would have called it Burning Determination. Iron Maiden never wavered from their direction, their truth. They kept their eye on the prize. They put the fans at the forefront of everything. 50 years later, they're still going strong. They've got so much happening this year and next, and I think this film is going to be really well received by the fans, and you can go and see it in the cinema from the 7th of May, and I do highly recommend it. Thank you for joining me here in Leicester Square, and I have to say, just meeting the band again after all these years and getting a cuddle from Eddie, I've just had the most brilliant evening.